transfer to Manchester United today.
Football predictions.
If Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hi, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with the Moose for another episode of the footballpredictions.net podcast covering Spanish La Liga games for the 29th of November to the 2nd of December 2024. And you can see all the details for the matches we're about to discuss in this podcast on our website. Use the clickable links in the description, footballpredictions.net, along with the fixtures from just about every other football competition in this known world.
Yes, and on our website, I will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers. Look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we are about to discuss. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware.
And first up, we've got Mallorca in 8th to take on Valencia in 18th. And this one kicks off on Friday, the 29th of November, an 8 p.m. kick-off, nice late one. Visit footballpredictions.net, our page on the site, which you can find in the description of this podcast, and you can see your local kickoff time, betting odds and broadcast streaming channels tailored to your location. This one's available on La Liga TV, but you can also stream it for free on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 and watch it subscription free and for nothing. Well, this should be a fairly good game, actually, because Mallorca have had a win.
Mallorca had a win, yes indeed. They went to Las Palmas and beat them 3-2 last weekend. We had both teams to score in that game, so we were well in on that tip. But maybe we should just mention a couple of correct score predictions here from Football Predictions. We don't like to brag, but we have to do it when we're talking about Mallorca, because we predicted Mallorca Atletico Madrid in the game prior to this. That was the most recent home game. That ended 1-0 to Atletico. We had 1-0 to Atletico. Before that, at Alaves, we said Alaves were going to beat Mallorca 1-0, and guess what? It ended 1-0. We then predicted a draw in Mallorca versus Athletic Bilbao, and it ended 0-0. And then just to cap this one off, we predicted Mallorca to beat Rayo Vallecano 1-0 at home, and guess what? It ended 1-0. So with some really strong predictions on Mallorca. You may also sense here that we have got a lot of low-scoring games, and that's probably been the story of Mallorca so far this season, because if we look at them in La Liga, they're sitting in 8th spot. They played 14 games, scored 13 goals, and conceded 12. So this is a team where we're talking about less than a goal on average scored and conceded when they're playing. So it's a little bit, must have been a little bit out of their comfort zone last week, scoring 3 goals in one game. That's a lot of goals for Mallorca in one game. And by the way, all 5 goals in that game happened in the second half. And the winning goal was scored in the 91st minute by Mallorca. So, but a good win for them nevertheless, because actually prior to that, Mallorca only had 1 win from 5 matches. So it was on time that they picked up another win. So a good win there. Now, when we talk about Valencia had a terrible start to the season with just 1 win from 11 games. But then last week, they beat Real Betis 4-2 at home. So finally a great win there for Valencia, 4-2 at home to Betis. And that was a follow-up on the draw at Getafe, the most recent away game in La Liga, which ended 1-1. We had both teams to score in that game. But overall, when we do look at Valencia and we take the away form into consideration, it's not looking great still. They picked up 2 draws in the last 2 away games. They've had 6 games away from home all season, only scored 2 goals, lost 4 and drawn 2. So, but has to be said, very narrow games of late, 1-1 at Getafe, 0-0 at Leganés, and they picked up that win against Betis. So this is not going to be an easy game for Mallorca, and Valencia might fancy themselves a little bit, but we think another low-scoring game and a potential winner. Yeah,
well, Valencia haven't won away from home in the last 9 league matches, so not been too good for them, has it? That kind of form. And bearing in mind, we picked 3 out of the last 3 1-0 results for Mallorca, we're quite happy with that. So we've actually gone for something quite similar here. We've gone for, in terms of our tip, we've gone for an under 2.5 goals game. Would you believe you can only get 1.36 odds for that? That just tells you how the bookies also think that a game with Mallorca in it means it's probably going to be, apart from the last one, of course, but it's likely to be a low scorer.
Yeah.
If you like a Mallorca win, this is probably a better prediction for you if you like to get a bit more bang for your buck, because you can get a Mallorca win at 2.05 odds, which is significantly more. Regarding our correct score prediction, unfortunately the bookies are onto us because we predicted 1-0 again, but they're only going to give you odds of 5 for that score.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty bad, isn't it? But yeah, if it was a 1-0, which we think it will be, you can get 4-1 or 5 there. In our poll, obviously we predict Mallorca win, and so do 59% of you. This is on our webpage. Click the link in the description, you'll see it. 59% Mallorca, 18% Valencia, with 24% thinking that it's probably going to be a draw. Shall we move on to Barcelona, top of the table? We take on Las Palmas, who are 17th. This one kicks off on Saturday, 30th of November, 1 p.m. UK time kick-off, and find our page in the description. Click on the link, and you will be able to see your local kick-off time, betting odds, and available viewing options. You can live stream it on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're not with them already, and you can watch it subscription free and for free. So Barcelona are rolling along, aren't they? They did have a couple of strange results, though, didn't they, in the last couple of La Liga games?
Yeah, I mean, by Barcelona means the a little bit out of form. Have not won now in 2 games, and that's considering that for the first 12 matches of the season, they won 11 and just lost 1. They had that 4-2 loss at Osasuna back in September. But then they went to Sociedad, lost 1-0, and then most recently at Celta Vigo, it ended 2-2. Our main prediction for that game was both teams to score, because Barcelona does have a tendency to concede goals despite them also scoring loads. They scored 42 goals this season across 14 games. That's 3 goals on average. So that's worth noting. Talking about 3 goals, or scoring 3 goals midweek in that Champions League game at home to Brest, they beat them 3-0. So 3 seems to be the number for Barcelona when it comes to scoring goals. But of course, they've been in tremendous form. They're top of the Liga table, but no wins in the last 2. So they'll be looking forward to this game against Las Palmas, because Las Palmas, they didn't have a great start to the season. They hadn't won a game out of their first 9 until they traveled to Valencia and beat them 3-2. And then they've actually picked up 3 wins over the last 5 games, including that Valencia win. Most recently, they did lose at home to Mallorca. We just covered Mallorca. They lost that one 3-2. And both teams to score game. But their most recent away game, that ended with a 3-1 win at Rayo Vallecano. Las Palmas have got a few goals in them of late. They didn't score too many in the beginning of the season. But over the course of the last 5 games, they have scored in 4 out of the 5. So going into this game with Barcelona, though, we do not leave them with much chance.
No, but give some credit to Las Palmas. They've I know they lost their last game, but they also do like to score, and they like possession. I mean, that last game that they lost, they had 62% possession and 13 attempts at goal. So they're pretty handy, I think, up front, and I can see them scoring in this one. That's what we've decided. We think they will get a goal, but we can't see anything past Barcelona winning. I mean, they've not been beaten at home in their last 13 league matches, which is very impressive, isn't it? But what do you expect from Barcelona, really? We think that Las Palmas will be able to bag a goal here. So we've gone for both teams to score prediction. 1.7 are the odds you can get for that. I think that's pretty good. On the other hand, if you just like your win, draw, win, you're only going to get 1.17 for a Barcelona victory, which is maybe something not really worth your time. We've gone for a correct score in this one of 3-1 to Barca. And you can get odds of that correct score of 10, so very juicy, or 9-1. For a Barcelona win on our site, you people out there voting for it, you'll see that at the moment anyway, 74% of people think Barcelona, and only 4% think a Las Palmas win is on the cards. With the rest a draw. There are not many more. That's 22% odd a draw. Can't see that, but a draw you can get at 8.5 odds, and a Las Palmas win you can get at 13 odds. So pretty huge, but you'd have to be a brave person to bet on that, I think. Right. Moving on to Alaves, who are 16th. Should be quite good this game because they take on a 14th place, Leganés. This is on Saturday, 30th of November, 3:15 in the afternoon, UK time. Click the links in the description. You'll find your local kickoff time, betting odds and broadcast streaming channels tailored to your location for this match. One of which, of course, is Bet365. Live stream it there using the bonus code FP365 to watch it free and subscription free. And for this one, Alaves lost a couple in a row, so they're kind of on the slide. But Leganés are kind of patchy as well.
Yeah, Leganés is patchy, but let's start with Alaves because actually it's more of just a slide. They've lost 7 now out of the last 8 games in La Liga. Compare that to the beginning of the season, where they picked up 3 wins from their first 6 games. So yeah, just 3 points from their last 8 games, and of course that makes them drop towards the bottom like a stone if they're going to continue like that. They're not traveling anywhere because they're playing at home to Leganés in this game. Now, the most recent home game, though, of Alaves, that did end 1-0 to Alaves. That was against Mallorca, and that was one of the ones we did predict Alaves to run away with 3 points in that game to kind of turn their form around, and so they did. They won 1-0 in that game against Mallorca. But yeah, the last 2 games in La Liga has been 2 away games. At Villarreal, they lost 3-0, and then they lost 2-1 at Atletico. We predicted both outcomes of those games. And yeah, we also predicted the outcome of the third away game of late, which was a 1-0 defeat at Rayo Vallecano. But yeah, overall, Alaves is actually in terrible form. Like I said, just picked up 3 points from their last 8 games. If we look at Leganés also, they are not in terribly good form. However, they have picked up 2 wins in the Liga from the last 4 games. And you got to compare that to the beginning of the season, because for the first 10 matches, Leganés only picked up 1 win. Those wins, though, have been at home. So all 3 wins for Leganés this season has been at home, which of course means that away from home, Leganés are yet to win. But they are good for a goal. The last away game in the Liga finished with a 4-3 defeat to Girona. We did predict a Girona win. We also predicted both teams to score in that one, so we were bang on with that prediction. But yeah, they lost that one 4-3, and prior to that, they lost 3-1 at Atletico Madrid. So yeah, Leganés away from home. They can score goals. They've scored in the last 4 away games in a row. They're traveling to an Alaves team here who is out of form, looking for a win. And we did predict Alaves last time to turn their fortunes around against Mallorca. Now, can they do it again against Leganés?
Yeah, well, everything you're saying there kind of lends itself towards both teams to score, doesn't it? And if you look at Leganés, just as the visiting team, they have had they've seen 21 goals in the last 6 games that they've played, so 3.5 goals per game average. Opposing teams have hit 11 of those goals. So yeah, they score and they get scored against. So we think both teams to score is a very sensible prediction for this one. You can actually get odds, would you believe, of 2.38 for that. So I think that's very nice. Alaves to win is what we've gone for though, and as in terms of the win-draw-win prediction, and that's only down at 1.8. Let me just double check that. Yeah, it is all the way up at 2.38 on Bet365 for both teams to score. Sorry, I had to go back and check it. Alaves to win 1.8 are the odds you'll get for that. And our correct score we're going for a pretty heavy home win, actually. 3-1 is what we like. And would you believe you can get 18 to 1 in fractional for a 3-1 correct score prediction. So a piece of that might not be a bad thing to have. And, in our poll, on our website, which you can go to, 71% of you agree Alaves to win. Only 12% think a Leganés win, and 18% like a draw. But this could be a very interesting game to be betting on because, some very juicy odds available. So bear that in mind. Next up, we've got Espanyol, who are 19th in the table. We're taking on Celta Vigo, 11th. This one is on Saturday, 30th of November, 5:30 p.m. UK time kickoff. Click on the link in the description and you'll find your localized kickoff time, odds, TV channels and streaming services, one of which is Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365, FP for football predictions, of course. And you can watch it free and subscription free. And, so Espanyol, similarly, they've lost 4 out of their last 5.
Espanyol actually has lost 7 out of the last 8 in La Liga. So then it's just as bad form as one of our previous teams we were covering there, Alaves. But yeah, just 3 points from the last 8 games in La Liga. It has to be said, though, that Espanyol has been fairly unlucky here with their, let's say, the fixture list, because they have been playing the likes of Barca, Bilbao, of Real Madrid, Champions League side Girona and Betis away from home, and all of those matches resulted in defeats. Most recently, they played Girona away from home in a game where we predicted them to lose, and both teams to score, and Girona won that one 4-1. And prior to that, they had a 3-1 defeat at Barcelona, fellow Catalonians there. But yeah, in that game, we actually predicted Barcelona to beat them 3-1. They have had a win in between in the Copa del Rey, but against lower league team Santiago. But yeah, overall, it's not looking good for Espanyol. And they've conceded 13 goals in the last 4 games. And what's quite striking about those 13 goals is that 12 of them have been conceded in the first half. Like against Girona, they were 4-0 down after 27 minutes. And against Barcelona, they were 3-0 down after 31 minutes. So I think if Espanyol were to get anything from this game, they would need to turn that record around and at least try and keep a clean sheet in the first half. But they're playing a Celta Vigo team here who has got 5 wins so far this season, most of them at home. They won 4 games at home and just 1 game away from home at Las Palmas. But their last away result was a 2-2 draw at Betis, and they then went home to play Barcelona and got a 2-2 draw. And overall, Celta Vigo has now not lost in the last 3 games, because their game prior to Betis was a 1-0 win against Getafe in La Liga. So, yeah, overall, Espanyol, terrible form. They're playing a Celta Vigo side here who has pulled off a few good results of late and might be doing the same again.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Espanyol's last game, which was obviously away to Girona, they only had 24% possession and 1 shot on target. So, they're not looking too clever at the moment. They're really sliding away. And Celta Vigo, on the other hand, defensively haven't been great, but, against Espanyol, we think they'll be okay. In this one, we're actually predicting an under 2.5 goals game. We think it will be kind of that close. And the odds there we've got for that are 1.8. But Celta Vigo to win is what we think. And if you want to go for a win-draw-win market, you can get them at 2.2. The other odds, by the way, you can get, that's a 2.2 for an away win for Celta Vigo. Espanyol at home, 3.3, and a draw, 3.4. So not much difference between those two. But yeah, we like the Celta Vigo away win. And actually, so do 55% of you in our user poll on the webpage for this. They like Celta Vigo to win. Only 23% believe Espanyol, and the rest a draw. But our correct score prediction for this game is actually 0-1. So it will be Espanyol 0, Celta Vigo 1, and the odds there are 8 or 7-1. Moving on to our summary games, and we've got Real Valladolid down in 20th, unfortunately for them, taking on Atletico Madrid in 3rd. This is on 8 p.m. on the 30th of November, that's Saturday, and you can watch this one streamed on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 and you can watch it for free and subscription free. Well, this one looks like it's looking at the form, one-way traffic, and we think it will be an Atletico Madrid win. but we think it'll be both teams to score as well. That's our tip for this one. And we've gone for a correct score prediction of Real Valladolid 1, Atletico Madrid 2.
Moving on to Sunday, 1st of December, 1 o'clock UK time. Villarreal in 4th takes on Girona in 7th. It's another game you can watch live and free on Bet365 using a bonus code FP365 for this game. We're going with under 2.5 goals, a Villarreal win, and a correct score of 2-0 Villarreal.
And next up, we've got the mighty Real Madrid, maybe not so mighty after that Champions League performance against Liverpool. You take on Getafe, 15th. This is on at 3:15 UK time on the 1st of December, that's Sunday. And you can stream this one on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 to watch it free and subscription free. And rather predictably, we've gone for a win to Real Madrid, of course, but we've gone for an under 2.5 goals game, which might surprise you, because we have a correct score of 2-0 to Real Madrid.
Yeah. Then we've got Rayo Vallecano in 13th, taking on Athletic Bilbao in 5th. This game kicks off Sunday, 1st of December, 5:30 UK time. Again, you can watch this live and free on Bet365 using bonus code FP365. We're going for an even game here, so we're predicting both teams to score, but a score draw of 1-1.
Next up, Sociedad in 10th take on Real Betis in 9th. And this is on 8 p.m. In the UK time zone. 1st of December, that's Sunday. Stream it on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them, and you can watch it free and subscription free. And for this one, we've gone for another both teams to score tip, and for a home win to Real Sociedad of 2-1.
Yes, moving on to the last game of this match week in the Liga. This game takes place Monday, 2nd of December at 8 o'clock UK time. And it's another Sevilla-based team because it's Sevilla in 12th taking on Osasuna in 6th. Now for this game, we're going to go with an under 2.5 goal prediction, a Sevilla home win, correct score prediction of 1-0 to Sevilla.
And a reminder that if you are planning to live stream these matches on Bet365, that geolocation and live streaming rules apply, 18+, gambleaware.org. And make sure you use that bonus code FP365 if you haven't already got an account.
Yes, and in the description section of this podcast, you'll see links to the games we've just been discussing, or just go directly to footballpredictions.net. On there, you'll have a look at the online places to watch the games from your location by streaming and TV channels, our tips for different betting markets, team news, as well as best offers and odds.
Do know that we produce these football podcasts for additional competitions as well as La Liga, and you can hear them at podcast.footballpredictions.net, or of course where you usually source your podcasts from, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and all that. That's it. Thanks for joining us. And for now, it is
Adios.
Adios, amigo.
A football prediction.